Biden is threatening to redesignate the Houthis as terrorists again. Yeah. Here's the Bloomberg article from this morning, maybe 2 hours ago. U.S. may revoke Houthi terrorist label if they stop Red Sea ship attacks. Washington is seeking diplomatic off-ramps, says Yemen envoy. Houthis have been attacking ships in the Red Sea since November. So he removed them from the terror list. And then they started attacking ships. Remember, they began attacking the Red Sea ships after Biden took them off the terror list. And then Biden he threatened to put them back on the list. They kept attacking other ships. So he put them on the list. And then they kept attacking. So now he's saying, well, maybe I'll take you off the list again if you stop attacking ships. Kane, what do you think? You think that's going to do it? Second time, third time's a charm?
Sure.
Oh, wow, we don't want to be called terrorists by the government who called us terrorists and stop calling us terrorists and call us terrorists again. And now they say they're going to stop calling us terrorists. They've been attacking ships through this whole thing, and they haven't stopped. They want a diplomatic off-ramp. I've got a diplomatic off-ramp idea. So I can never, I can't ever, I could never be in elected office.
How does this project strength in any way? Like, in any way, does this project strength?
It looks dumb. It makes our government look so goofy. I mean, I have February 2021, Biden administration to remove Yemen's Houthi rebels from terrorism list and reversal of Trump-era policy. And then this was in January of this year. Biden administration redesignates Houthis as specially designated global terrorists. Now, U.S. may revoke the Houthi terror label. If you guys stop bullying these ships, we'll stop calling you terrorists again. I don't think that's going to work. I don't think it's going to work at all. I actually think you're going to see more from the Houthis because of that strike that took out that those Iranian Hezbollah supporting generals. Which, by the way, I thought that was very interesting. I thought that was kind of a checkmate move that Israel did. Because think about it like this. So you had him pulling the story up. So you have this strike. Let me pull this. Bear with me here. I'm going to pull this up real quick. Because this was what was over the weekend. And Iran was very, very mad about it. They had this Israeli strike on Iran's consulate in Syria. It killed 2 generals and 5 other terror backers. And the religious leader in Iran was like, oh, we're going to really get you for this. They're not going to do anything. They're going to have to swallow the poison. And the reason is because Iran is now backed into a corner. What are they going to do? I don't know if you've been, I was looking at some of this stuff on social media, on X, because the terrorists, I mean, Trump couldn't be on Twitter, but you can have the Ayatollah on Twitter. You know, the United States is the big devil. And then you have all of these little terror leaders that are on there. You have Hezbollah members and some Houthis, and, you know, you got some Hamas members up there. It's, you know, all different kinds, all different flavors of terrorists. And some of the terror leaders, some of the proxy groups that Iran has been using to go after the United States and go after Israel, you know, they use those so no one can engage in an all-out war with Iran because they get a little skittish about that. They're not at that point. They want to be able to freely pursue uranium interests, right? Enriching uranium and going after their nuke agenda. And so this strike, it killed these top commanders. Iran, what are they going to do? I mean, they can't really do anything except try to get the proxy groups to go and carry out more attacks. But like I said, on X and some of these other places, the leaders of these proxy groups were like, wait a minute, what are we getting out of this? They're asking us, what are we getting out of this again? So there's a little bit of a ending of a honeymoon there, the long honeymoon between Iran and these proxy groups. And so what is Iran going to do? If they start actually themselves firing rockets in return at Israel instead of using proxy groups, Israel is going to have a wide open door to actually fire inside of Iran. That includes their nuclear program, going after those facilities. That's the last thing Iran wants. So they can't do anything. They're stuck in a corner. That was kind of a checkmate move, I thought. So what are they? They're not going to do a single damn thing. So when it comes to diplomatic, I don't know. I just feel like, you know, the diplomatic thing to do would be, if we see a Houthi in the Red Sea, we're going to turn the sea red with you. That's what's going to happen. We're going to make it honest by name. And we're going to dye the sea red with your stinking blood. That's what we're going to do, with a smile. That's my diplomatic off-ramp right there. There isn't, I mean, at some point, you got to realize diplomacy doesn't work with barbarians, right? And I don't mean to insult the original barbarians who had more honor than these people. I mean, like, you can't negotiate with animals at some point, right? I remember one time, my dog Louie, he got a hold of a squirrel, killed it, just shaking it. And I was like, Louie, give me the squirrel. We're not going to tear this apart in the yard. This is gross. It's a tree rat. And it's just stop. This is, he was fawn colored. So he thought he was a Frenchie, but he thought he was a lion. I don't know. He would not. I tried to reason with this dog. I looked at him and I was like, Louie, let's be diplomatic here about this situation, okay? Hand me the squirrel. Give it to me. Give me the squirrel. And no matter how diplomatic I tried to be with this dog, he didn't listen. I mean, I literally had to wrestle him like a pig and literally hold him, and had to have one of my kids grab it out of his mouth. He was not going to let it go. He's going to sling it everywhere, and it was getting nasty. This is, I say this because that's kind of how you have to deal with these dogs. With, my dog, actually, it's an insult to dogs. These animals, that's how you have to deal with the Houthis and the Hamases and the Hezbollahs. They're not interested in diplomacy. Diplomacy doesn't work on their tiny little animal brains. It doesn't work. But fear does. Fear is great. Fear of losing honor, the fear of losing power, the fear of just losing. Well, that's a great motivator. That's a great diplomatic tool. And one that works very well. You want them to be so afraid that the little Houthis and the little Hamases and the little Hezbollahs are like, maybe we should think twice before going into this line of work. Didn't work out so well for our dads and uncles and our uncle dads. Didn't really work out so well. So I think that was a good move from Israel. There's nothing that Iran's going to do. What is Iran going to do? Use more proxies? And then Biden can sit here and dither. Well, I guess we'll rename you terrorist again. Oh, they were so broken up about that last time. They just went out and consoled themselves by bombing some ships out in the Red Sea. Oh, they were so upset. No, that's not what you do. I think you just need to say, if you're attacking our ships or ships that are within our interest, we're going to snuff you off the face of the earth. That's what's going to happen. But no, as Kane notes, he probably wants to release even more money to Iran. Release more funds, which, by the way, was absolutely freezing that money was part of those sanctions. So they actually did roll back some of the sanctions for that. That's a true thing. That's a mess. This is just a mess. He's just making such a mess of this whole entire area. I don't know who's worse, him or Carter at this point. Carter created it, really, but